What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of the 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below. Thanks for being here, guys, to the best gaming related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. Fallout 5 is a title that many of us want to see, guys. We have not had a continuation of the Fallout franchise, and it feels like quite some time, or I should say a good continuation of the franchise. And so I want to talk in this first segment of the show about everything that we know about Fallout 5 at this point in time. We can break it down, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So in an article coming to us from the folks over at Autobala, Fallout 5 and everything that we know so far. The existence of Fallout 5 has not yet been confirmed by Bethesda, but given the popularity of the franchise, we would be very surprised if it wasn't in the pipeline somewhere. At this point, we know that Bethesda is very focused on Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, and its very mysterious new Indiana Jones game. So in the case of Fallout 5, as in being in the works, you wouldn't expect it to see for quite some time or years in the future, and I agree. Guys, obviously I'm very excited for Starfield. I'm excited about Elder Scrolls 6. Even the Indiana Jones game, I'm really excited about. Even though we've only seen little snippets of it, I'm still really excited about it. These other titles, though, Starfield and then the highly anticipated Elder Scrolls 6, are certainly in the pipeline. So the question really comes down to, when would we see a Fallout 5? Because I think that it's definitely happening. It's just a matter of time. It sounds like, guys, that there's a good chance that this could be a number of years away. They've said that Elder Scrolls 6 is a number of years away, and I believe that Fallout 5 could be even further out than that, because obviously they have not even confirmed the existence of a Fallout 5. So that being said, obviously, guys, the release date is massive for many of us. Currently, the release date for Fallout 5 has not been confirmed, but there are many speculations at this point, and there's optimistic predictions of setting a release date for 2022, which is completely and utterly unlikely, guys. I would say that we're probably looking at maybe 2025, 2026 as far as a release date is concerned. I believe it's still a number of years away because they're going to bring Starfield out, then you're going to have Elder Scrolls 6. I would say once Elder Scrolls 6 gets released, that's when they would probably start the production of Fallout 5, and that could just be a number of years away, obviously. But in reality, Bethesda hasn't officially confirmed the next Fallout game, and developers are currently focusing on improving Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, and Fallout 76, and 2022 is ambitious. It seems like realistically 2024 and beyond are more realistic. I agree. I think it's more like 2025. So the platform, guys, well, the next Fallout release for PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC may be available. It's not surprising that Microsoft and Bethesda purchased the latter earlier this year, making it an exclusive title, but Xbox said it would be difficult because the exclusive deal for the new game from Bethesda would be decided on a case-by-case basis. So here's what I think, guys. Microsoft obviously purchased Bethesda in an attempt to really own the gaming space, or a number of titles, I should say. When we look at Xbox Game Pass, that's the Netflix of gaming, in my opinion. And so I think it would not make a lot of sense to me if you made Fallout 5 and Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, if you made those all on, PlayStation as well as Xbox, doesn't make a lot of sense. You make them exclusive to the console Xbox, because then more and more people are going to be purchasing Xboxes without a doubt. And so that's where I think we're going to be able to see Fallout 5. So as far as the locations as well as the setting, this is purely speculation, but all Fallout games are set in the U.S. states, so it's not surprising that this aspect doesn't change. For example, Fallout 3 was set in Washington and Fallout 4 was in Boston. It's nice to see Fallout exploring different parts of the world, but it can make a big difference to the game and keep long-term fans, especially those who like the settings. I would say that Fallout 5, I would love to see that in maybe a large city, potentially New York City, Los Angeles. I think that would be a really interesting concept. We had Fallout New Vegas, which was an interesting concept, but I would love to see one of the really big cities. Maybe even something down in Florida would be an interesting place as well. The multiplayer, guys, this is another big one that a lot of folks are wondering. Would they continue the multiplayer elements, or would they stick with Fallout 76 for that, where if you want to play multiplayer, you go there, and then Fallout 5 is just a single-player story? Well, all mainline Fallout games are single-player only. Fans probably always love the idea of wandering the apocalyptic wasteland with some friends, but when this was attempted in Fallout 76, it did not work. Given that the Fallout 76 team is constantly updating and improving the multiplayer experience of online services, it's no wonder the Fallout 5 is only created as a single-player experience. I have to disagree, though. Even though they're consistently trying to update Fallout 76, which is great, I would love to still see some PvP elements to Fallout 5, as well as some PvE elements where, where you're going up against the environments, against the AI. I think that just adds more value and justifies that $60 price tag, or whatever the cost may be for this Fallout 5 title. I just think that Fallout 76 has such a sour taste in so many people's, minds, that they obviously are going to want something that maybe can make up for that. And I think that could come in the form of Fallout 5, especially if they just take their time with doing, obviously, the multiplayer experience. Fallout 5 hasn't been announced, but it's unclear if it will be exclusive to Xbox. However, if Fallout 5 was created after Microsoft acquired ZeniMax Media, chance for Xbox only. Phil Spencer, when the deal was closed in March 2021, whether the acquisition will limit future Bethesda titles to Xbox at a roundtable where Bethesda will join Xbox. According to Spencer, if you're using an Xbox, this is to provide a great dedicated game that ships on the platform on which Game Pass resides. That's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the roots of this partnership we're building. So that's absolutely awesome. But that being said, this kind of gets back to what I think is going to happen, being that Fallout 5 is going to be an Xbox exclusive. It's not going to be on PlayStation. It'll be an Xbox Series X, S, and probably, PC. So Fallout 5, guys, is something that I would absolutely love to see at some point in the future. I do believe it is going to come out. I think it's going to be a number of years away. We can certainly, I know we're talking about it very early on here, because there's always going to be that hope that we're going to get, an announcement at some point in the foreseeable future. I think we could very well hear an announcement in 2022 or 2023, and then from there, a number of years later is when the actual title will come out. Bethesda has a way of taking their time with making their projects, typically speaking, and I think Fallout 5 won't be any different in that perspective. So that being said, Fallout 5, guys, when do you think we can expect this title? What do you want to see in it? Where do you want the locations to be? Are there differences you want to see? Similarities? What is it that you guys want to see in Fallout 5? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Fallout 5 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. PUBG 2 is becoming a very highly anticipated title, and it's becoming very anticipated to me as well. PUBG 2, guys, could be something really special, and I love what this franchise is doing. From the first title to the Callisto Protocol, which is the upcoming horror title within the PUBG universe, to PUBG 2, I'm very, very excited about the future of this franchise. That being said, I want to talk in this segment of the show specifically about PUBG 2 being a free-to-play title. Is this a possibility? Which I think obviously it is a possibility, but is it more likely to happen or not? And what could be the ramifications of that moving forward? So let's talk about it. So guys, this is obviously going to be one man's thoughts on PUBG 2, and is it going to be free-to-play and why it should be one way or another. So do I think it's going to be free-to-play? Yes, I do believe it's going to be free to play. There's so many other games, guys, that are becoming free to play, and it makes total sense, even from a business perspective. Making it free to play gets more and more people to try the game out just to see what it's all about. Then if you have obviously different types of microtransactions, skins, and things of that nature, it's more justified because it's a free title. So spending money on microtransactions is more so justified at the end of the day, as long as it's not deceptive to the consumer. That's a very, very important thing. So PUBG 2 being free to play, I think would be huge for this franchise moving forward. Being free to play right from the get-go so that people can all jump into it. You think of games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, Warzone. These are games that are just growing in popularity. Fortnite is slowing down slightly, but Call of Duty, Warzone, Valorant, all these different titles are growing and growing year over year, it feels like. And so that being said, I think PUBG 2 could certainly take a piece of the pie because it was PUBG, the first title was very popular and for good reason. It was a great title. It just started to kind of, obviously the competition came into the Battle Royale space. Fortnite, of course, really took the front and center there. Call of Duty Warzone kind of took us to another new dimension with, the first-person shooter, Fortnite being third-person. PUBG 2, I think, could really be somewhere in between, and I think it could be special in a number of ways. So free-to-play makes total business sense to me, and it just makes sense all the way around because obviously, you want more and more people to at least try it out. If you put a $60 price tag, I believe that there would be negative ramifications of that just because some folks that are big fans of PUBG will try and buy the game, obviously. But on the flip side of that, those of us who are kind of more on the fence, they're maybe not going to purchase the game for $60. They may look for another title or just play some of these free titles that are out there. I think it would limit the player count and, obviously how many people are playing it, concurrently. I just think that being free to play makes total sense to me on PUBG's front. And I think that when we look at the Callisto Protocol, that title is going to be coming out. That's going to continue building the legacy, the lore, the story of PUBG. And moving into PUBG 2, I think that could really, take it to the next level. The other thing is PUBG 2 going to have campaign? Is it going to have co-op modes? Is it just going to be multiplayer? Because if it's going to have multiple modes to it, then I would totally understand them putting a $60 price tag on it. What would be great, though, would be if they took something, kind of a page out of Call of Duty's book, where Call of Duty makes the game $60, but Warzone is free. So maybe PUBG 2, the Battle Royale mode, is free to play, but everything else you pay $60 for the campaign, the co-op modes, and things of that nature. I think that would be something very interesting as well to see PUBG 2 do, where they take kind of a page out of Call of Duty's book. I always tell how it's one of those things where I feel that games need to be themselves, where they don't necessarily need to copy what other games are doing, but we see it so much in the gaming landscape. Other games are copying others, the free-to-play, mantra, the monetization tactics, all the microtransactions and things of that nature have really, built this thing to where it is. So I think PUBG 2 could certainly take some pages out of other titles as to what has worked for them and could take it to the next level as well. And that's something I would love to see here with PUBG 2 because I think this is a title that has so much potential and untapped potential at this point in time that they really could capitalize on. I want to see the esports side of it continue to flourish and continue to move forward. One of the things I would love to see there would be an esports, essentially, for PUBG 2, I would love to see it almost be, a lot of money gets funneled into, let's just say, a pile or where any types of skins that you buy from different teams that are a part of the PUBG esports scene, that money goes into, a pot, and obviously as it builds, say at the end of the year you have the championships, and that pot is what they utilize to say this is what the prize pool is, and that would be something awesome to see in PUBG 2, where some of those skins, some of it's going to obviously go to the developers, the publishers, things of that nature, but some of it goes into a pot, similar to what happens in Dota, and we see something like that because I've been wanting to see the Call of Duty League do this as well, where they have, obviously a big prize pool, but it's contributions from the community buying skins, and obviously Activision's going to get their piece of the pie, Infinity Ward's going to get their piece, and then, or Treyarch, and then the rest of it would go into the prize pool for COD champs. I want to see something like that in Call of Duty, but I would love to see something like that here in PUBG too. Could they be, the next ones to try this? I just think it makes so much business sense. What do you guys think, though? Let me know in the comment section down below about PUBG 2. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be free to play, pay to play? Let me know. And for more PUBG 2 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. Things are getting really interesting in the Call of Duty League, and the most recent being OpTic Dallas, a merger that is supposedly going to be happening based on a number of leaks and things of that nature. And I want to talk about this, break everything down for you guys, and I would love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section down below, and the reasons why I think this is a good thing, but it also could be a bad thing for Call of Duty. Let's get into it. In an article written by Adam Fitch of Dexterto, OpTic Dallas CDL logo leaked ahead of Envy merger. OpTic Dallas, a merger between Envy Gaming's Dallas Empire franchise and OpTic Gaming, has seemingly been confirmed by new trademarks. The Call of Duty esports community was shocked when it was reported that Envy, the parent company of CDL franchise Dallas Empire and OpTic Gaming, were working on a merger. The result of the business deal, which was first reported by Esports, would be a new franchise named OpTic Dallas, the third location for the OpTic brand in as many Call of Duty League seasons. As per trademark filings owned by Envy Gaming, the OpTic Dallas name was submitted on October 21st. A logo, which has to be presumed as the official emblem of the reported team, has also been submitted. Let's talk about the logo first off, guys. The logo, I love it. I think the logo looks awesome. OpTic Dallas got the star green OpTic, for the most part. It makes total sense to me. OpTic's obviously a bigger brand than Envy, so the logo makes total sense. I love it. I think it looks great. It's simplistic, but at the same time, there's so much meaning you can tell behind it. While the merger has yet to be officially confirmed or announced by either party, a rumored roster for the prospective OpTic Dallas has also surfaced. Scump and Dashi of OpTic Chicago and Shotzi and Illy of Dallas Empire expected to comprise the new look franchise's squad for the upcoming season. So before we go any further, my thoughts on the roster, the reported roster. Overall, I like it, but the one thing I don't like about it is actually, guys, one that may be somewhat controversial. It is actually Scumpy. I love Scumpy. I think he's incredible when it comes to Call of Duty, an icon, one of the most important figures in Call of Duty history, period. That being said, though, Scumpy should not be taking the place of Crimsix. Crimsix is the GOAT. He is the winningest Call of Duty player ever, and there is absolutely no reason that that we should, have, or this team should have, Scumpy over Crimsix. Now, could I see him taking Dashi's spot? Absolutely. If Scump and Crimsix were to partner once again and Dashi was left off this roster, I'd be okay with that. I just don't think that if it came down to Scump or Crimsix, because they can't play together, whatever the case may be, Scump should not have been taking that spot. And this is where it gets kind of political, and there's a lot of, obviously Hex is very close friends with Scump, and it probably came down to, hey, if you guys want to partner, that being, OpTic to Envy, if you want to partner and make this thing happen, Scump has to be on the roster. And I just don't like it. Now, I think from a business perspective, Hastro obviously looked at this and said, you know what, we're going to be bringing the OpTic brand and it's merging with Envy, so we're going to be partnering. It makes business sense because OpTic fan base is going to start loving Envy as well. It's not just going to be about OpTic, it's going to be about Envy, at the same time. So I totally get it from a business perspective, but I don't like the move if Crimsix is not on this team. I'll get to the second thing I don't like about this in a moment here. It's not so much to do with players specifically, but more so as the league as a whole. With two franchises becoming one, Activision Blizzard need to find another ownership group to once again have 12 active teams in the league. Esports report on September 17th that it would likely be Washington Esports Ventures, the group behind Overwatch League franchise Washington Justice, that would acquire the vacant slot. OpTic Gaming as a brand has been through a lot since the inception of the Call of Duty League. OpTic Gaming Los Angeles competed in the first season under the ownership of Immortals Gaming Club, before Hex Rodriguez reacquired the org. Moving into the second season, Hex and his partners at Energy retired the Chicago Huntsman branding in favor of utilizing OpTic Chicago. Now all signs point to OpTic moving from Chicago to Dallas with Envy. So let's talk about the second part of this that I don't like. The thing I don't like about this move is that it's creating a dangerous precedent this early on in the Call of Duty League. Now, you could say, oh, we're in the very early stages of the Call of Duty League. It's okay for these things to be happening where teams are merging and then teams are being let go and no longer existing. But to me, I feel like it's such a disservice to the Call of Duty League. So let me give you the couple of reasons here. The Chicago Huntsmen, that brand was obviously built by Hex and that team over there, and it was awesome. But to just end that team altogether, no longer a part of the CDL, to me was a massive disservice. I believe that the Chicago Huntsmen should have been sold to another, another party who would have purchased it. I thought the logo was awesome. I thought that, the team, the city of Chicago, that would have been a huge thing for them. Even though, yes, Hex and them wouldn't be running it anymore, I still think it was such a disservice. And even more of a disservice to me is the Dallas Empire no longer being the team. They win the very first CDL championship and now it's already gone. It's no longer there if these rumors are true where it's OpTic and Dallas merging to create OpTic Dallas. I just think it's a disservice to the Call of Duty League as a whole and I don't like it. Now, on the flip side of that, what do I like about this outside of obviously the logo and things of that nature? The thing I do like is I love joining forces, okay? We're going to talk about a sports reference here. The greatest of all time, LeBron James, moving from Cleveland, goes down to Miami to join forces with the Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and they create a super team. And then from there, LeBron comes back to Cleveland, wins the championship up here, wins obviously 2 down in Miami. Then he goes to LA and he's creating super teams everywhere he goes. And I absolutely love it. I think it's great for the sport of basketball because the truth is that if you're a fan of, say, the Cavaliers after LeBron left and went to, Los Angeles or went to Miami the first time, as a Cavs fan, you can still have that thought in the back of your mind that the super team could once again be built once again in Cleveland at some point or another in the future. Whereas in sports like football, if you're a fan of, say, the Detroit Lions, there's a good chance that your team may never even ever make it to the Super Bowl as long as you love them. Not saying that the Detroit Lions are a terrible franchise or anything of that nature, but I'm just giving you an example. So here, I love this concept where you're joining forces to create almost a super team in order to try to not only win, but create content. All of those things make total sense to me. I just don't like what's being left in the wake of this acquisition or this transition in the CDL. And it's something that I think the Call of Duty League is definitely going to have to get a handle on. Yes, we're in the very early stages of the Call of Duty League, but I just think that people are getting attached to, obviously a certain team. Like if I lived in Chicago, I would be so excited about the Chicago Huntsmen, and then it just gets ripped under you after a year, and then it goes to OpTic. And not that you love the team based on, being in a specific city, but there is something to be said for that. If you're in a certain city and you have a team that's there, you're going to be loyal to that team most likely. Sure, you may be loyal to some of the players and things of that nature, kind of like when Brady left New England to go to Tampa Bay. The New England fans love Brady, so some of them are going to like watching Tampa Bay, but most likely there's a lot of them, the true New England fans are New England fans first, and then they're a Brady fan second. So maybe if New England gets beat somewhere along the stretch, they'll start cheering for Tampa Bay. So it's just one of those kinds of situations. I just don't like that it was what was left in the wake of all of this. Nonetheless, though, at the end of the day, I love the idea of joining forces. I love the logo here, and I think it's going to be great for, obviously, for the Call of Duty League in one aspect, and it's bad in another aspect. What I would love to see is the Chicago Huntsmen get put up for sale. Love to see the Dallas Empire or the Empire that can move to another city, Pittsburgh, Washington. It can kind of move to another city and become the Empire there. But that being said, guys, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about this. This is a massive ordeal if this is set to be true. Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Call of Duty League content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.